We've got another Facebook Live event from PHLV Radio.
Is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio. PHLV Radio.
Are you ready to travel? We got all the travel buzz here on Smart People Travel Wise with Alvin Adriano on PHLV Radio.
Hello, welcome, mabuhay, and bon bini. I'm so happy to be back live from Maryland and be back with all of you. I recently attended the American Society of Travel Advisors Global Convention in Chicago and had a wonderful time. It was great to see old colleagues, friends in the industry, and when 20 months have passed, it's been a long time since I've been out and traveling. But with that said, I'm so excited to keep the inspiration alive and help all of our viewers dream a little bit and, of course, plan a little bit more for vacation. Travel is slowly coming back, and I can't wait to introduce today's guest. But before we continue, for any of the viewers who just started watching, my name is Alvin Adriano, CEO of TravelWise International, and I'm your host on today's show, Smart People Travel Live. But before we get started, as a reminder to all our viewers, if you are watching this live, please hashtag live. And if you're watching on the replay, go ahead and hashtag replay. Share where you're watching from so we can acknowledge all of our viewers. And if you do want to catch our show plays on Facebook, Amazon Fire, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And you can also download the app PHLV Radio, available on all iOS and Android devices. Well, we all know that dream destinations are what most people want in the world wanderlust for. Beautiful waves, white pristine sand beaches, and we have been programmed to seek out some of the most amazing destinations that not only rejuvenate us, but we often hear places like Hawaii, Costa Rica, and the Philippines. However, if I told you that some of these amazing destinations are right beneath our noses, would you guys believe me? Well, today we have Miss Kim Riddle, a business development manager of the U.S. with the Aruba Tourism Authority. She's based out of Houston, and she is a destination marketing and management organization which promotes tourism for the Dutch Caribbean island Aruba. She's a veteran of the travel industry with over 30 years of experience, and Kim is no stranger to Aruba, beginning with her relationship with the One Happy Island back in 1990. She's worked with tour operator companies packaging vacations to this beautiful destination. In 1997, Kim made the transition to the Aruba Tourism Authority. Her deep love for Aruba, as well as her strong dedication to her team and all of her industry partners, travel advisors, tour operator, hotel, and airline, has led her to her current role leading the North American team. So please smash those heart buttons and please give Miss Kim Riddle a big deserved thank you for being here today. Hey, Kim.
Hey, Alvin. Thank you so much for welcoming me and inviting me to join you today. I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem. So I'm going to practice. We'll talk about papiento in a minute, but is it contabay?
Contabay, yeah, bon.
Awesome. So for all the people who don't know, the mother tongue of Aruba is papiamento. It's a language, not a really dialect, and it's evolved from a lot of different languages, which most languages have done today, like Tagalog.
6 different languages in there. So yes, very good.
And it has like a certain rhythm to it, right? Like there's a way that you pronunciate syllables because there's a lot of replication in some of the words, right?
Correct. And you'll definitely hear some of those words that you're familiar with in some of those different languages, whether it's Portuguese or Spanish, you'll hear that in there. And it's funny because papiamento is only spoken in Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, but it has that, just like here in the U.S. or other places, large countries where languages are spoken as particular language, you're going to hear the dialect differently in those countries. Yep. Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, you'll say the words a little bit differently as well. So you can actually tell where the people are from by the way they actually say that word. So it's
awesome.
very interesting.
That's so awesome. And but for all of the viewers who don't know, I mean, they do speak Dutch, but a majority of the island does speak English. So it's very easy to walk around and converse with some of the locals, correct?
That is correct. Yes. As early as fourth grade, they learn to speak English. Dutch is the official language. Papiamento is that local language spoken in the streets and in the homes. But yeah, by fourth grade, they're learning to speak in the schools English as well as Spanish. So to graduate from high school, they have to speak all four of those. And since Papiamento is made up of 6 languages, it's not uncommon for somebody to speak a fifth or a sixth language, either Portuguese or French, because that is in Papiamento. So it is incredible, and it literally blows my mind, especially with me being an American, which we dumb ourselves down. And I wasn't sure with my 3 children when they graduated from high school, with all the texting they do these days, if they were going to be able to master just English.
Yeah.
So we do know the challenges, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, you mentioned before as an American moving to Aruba or being part and leading the charge for Aruba tourism. I mean, I read your bio, but could you just tell us how you ended up being Aruba's representative?
It was a blessing, I tell you. As mentioned, I had worked for a tour operator company. I packaged together the trips that people would take, the airfare and the accommodations. That's what a tour operator does, putting all of the packages together. And the company I worked for, they merged with another company. I was lost in that merge. And so I had contacted the tourism board as a reference on my resume. And they're like, but wait a second, we need somebody, because the gal that was with the tourism board at that time had just put in her resignation as her husband had been transferred out to Santa Fe. And so it was, like I said, a blessing. My twins were 9 months old. And so it was like, okay, what am I going to do? But it just goes to show you, God always has a plan. And my boys, the twins at least, are 24 now. And so, yeah, I've been doing this for quite some time. Love it. And it is one happy island. Cannot be happier.
I'm hoping all of us have a great story that we can come out of Aruba, because it sounds, when I look up and do some research, it's such an amazing place. I mean, the draws are obvious, the miles of white sandy beaches, the all-inclusive resorts, a small compact city, Oranjestad, where people like cruisers can go, the sun, the fun, spending money. But, what are other draws to Aruba that people should consider going to this destination?
Well, one of the main things you missed, and you don't realize it until you've actually been there, and anyone you speak to who has been will tell you, it's the people. The people is what brings you back. Yes, it's all of those things. It's the whole package that brings you back time and time again. We actually have the highest repeat visitor rate in the Caribbean, but the locals, we have 90 distinct nationalities that live in Aruba. And so it's, they've all brought their cultures with them to the island. You're going to see the culture and the architecture, hear it in the music, taste it in the cuisine, but the people are so warm and welcoming because it's a melting pot of cultures throughout the destination. We only have 110,000 permanent residents on this tiny island. Wow. So a 70 square mile island and all of these cultures, it's just incredible. And that is, I think, that secret sauce to the destination. You can go out, it's a safe island. There's virtually no unemployment. You interact with the locals. You really have these experiences throughout the destination, getting to know the island, getting to know the culture, getting to know the people of Aruba. And when you come back, you find those people that you met before, and they're waiting for you, and they remember you, and they're calling you by name, and it's like coming home. And that is the experience that the people come back for time and time again.
Oh, that's so awesome. And then that local feel, and what you mentioned, 70 square miles, that's a small island. It sounds like that's what, 2-3 hours around to go around the whole entire island.
We are smaller than Manhattan.
Wow. And you pack all of that in a small island, because when I look at some of these pictures, it's amazing the places and destinations that you have in these places. And I think we were talking about it earlier about 52% of the majority of visitors that come from the U.S. come from my region, from northeast U.S. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes. Yeah. It is there. There's so much that the island offers, even though it's small. It offers such a big punch, like you said. And again, it's about having that experience, going out and exploring. We're not a flop and drop destination. While we do have the all-inclusive, you still go off property and have the interactions. You do the excursions. You even go out dining, even though you have the all-inclusive. You go out and you dine around the island. We have 400 restaurants on that tiny island, and you're dining your way through. We even have culinary tours. Mm-hmm. You really have an experience throughout the destination.
Oh, that's so awesome. And you mentioned that you have a lot of repeat customers that go back over and over to Aruba. And I can see why, because you have so many nonstop flights from our region. I think it's like Boston, Charlotte, Fort Lauderdale,
Dulles,
Washington.
Yeah, Dulles. You've got United. We've also got Southwest out of Baltimore. Oh goodness, we sure do.
And so that's what's great about now. When you start thinking about traveling, you want to have easy access. And what I tell my clients now, let's look for all the nonstops because there's less room for error. When you're connecting to different cities, this is a great thing for people in this DC area. Dulles or Baltimore, one stop and you're already in paradise.
Correct. And when you come home from Aruba, you clear customs in Aruba.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You've got U.S. Customs on island. So you really have the easy flight coming back. Gosh forbid you have to take a connection. It makes it so much easier. And I know you yourself, you've got kiddos. So if you're traveling with kids, it just makes it so much easier. If you're on a long haul flight, 4 hours sometimes might be that breaking point for kids. You might want to take a connection so they can run around a little bit. And that makes it easier when you have U.S. Customs. You've already cleared. You're not going to have to go through additional lines, whether you're coming home nonstop, coming with a connection. It just makes it so much easier for you to do it before you come back.
Yeah. And, for people don't realize what that means is that you go through customs in Aruba. And when you land in the United States, you're done with your customs, you pick up your bags and you go. You don't have to wait in line, check your passport. It's one of the most awesome things that I've experienced before. I'm just like, wait a minute, I just pick up my bags and go. And you're right. After a long flight, that's the last thing you want to do is wait in line and wait for your bags to get checked. I totally agree. So awesome. When we talk about Caribbean islands, we all think about sun, fun. We talk about vacations, beaches. But I also learned that you guys have the most sun out of all the Caribbean islands, and it's year round, 82 degrees all the time.
You are correct. We have been named the sunniest destination. We even capitalize on that. We have the solar parks and all of that to help with generating green energy throughout the destination. So we're also probably the most sustainable destination out there. So we focus on the sustainability at the same time, because why not utilize those natural resources? Mm-hmm. And we have those constant trade winds that keep the island temperatures in the mid 80s. So the weather is a great asset for us as well, because of where we're located. You can't help but really play off of our location. So really, really good for us.
Yeah. I mean, and those were the things that are like really difference makers, because people don't notice these little subtle things that really make a destination perfect. Another thing that I was really impressed by was the water. I heard a lot of reviews of the water, just so good, because you guys really invest in water purification, that people rave about, like tasting water from tap, and that you have your own cocktail. I think it's called a
Balashi cocktail.
A Balashi cocktail, right?
We only get 16 inches of rain a year. So it's virtually a desert island. Mm-hmm. So we have to actually desalinate the seawater in order to maintain living in Aruba. So yeah, the drinking water straight from the tap is just as good as bottled water in the US. Our water desalination plant is like the third largest in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. No worries. You don't have to bottle your water. Most of our resorts actually have water refill stations. So just refill your canteen, or if you buy one bottle somewhere, just keep refilling that bottle. Saves you a bunch of money and it's great. So yeah,
I thought that was a really good, people are really prioritizing health and sanitation. And, I think it was like rated #1 by World Health Organization. So those little things that I try to tell my clients really makes the destinations like, wow, that's really cool. I don't have to, water is everything, water is everything to Caribbean islands. And so coming from Philippines, like we understand the value of water. We're just like, oh, if we can get water for free everywhere and it tastes good, this is awesome. But yeah, I mean, these unique little tidbits about Aruba is so cool. Are there other unique attractions that really bring visitors to Aruba?
There's, so many different things. Everything from, art lovers, the murals. We've had street art festivals in Caribbean, in the lower part of the island, for people coming from the Caribbean and other parts of the world, artisans coming and painting these murals. It's been an international art festival for over 4 years. Unfortunately, it had to be paused because of the pandemic. But Forbes actually named the San Nicolas area as the street art capital of the Caribbean. So go down there, you will see like 35, 40 different murals that are the whole sides of the buildings. It is alive with art down there. It is gorgeous, incredible. There's also mosaic art benches, all kinds of different things. So as far as it goes with somebody who likes art and other things, definitely you want to see all of that. Even for somebody who likes to do a little bit of artsy stuff, on Wednesday evenings, the local artisans have, there's the whole workshop that they do, but they actually have a workshop in downtown Oranjestad as well. And on Wednesday evenings, they do a wine, tapas, and workshop evening that tourists can participate in. Who doesn't want a little wine and a little bit of tapas and play around a little bit with the some of these workshop stuff, a little bit of arts and crafts, not too bad, when you're having your wine. So it's a great opportunity for somebody to do something different. And being with the locals, again, that interaction with the locals, it's great. A lot of off the beaten path stuff, if you're into your water activities, we have the second largest ship in the Caribbean. We're known for the wreck diving. And so as far as large shipwrecks go, you can snorkel or dive the Antillas. It was scuttled during World War II.
You got two of them, right? The Antillas and the Personales?
Pedernales. Yeah, there's actually 9 different wrecks.
Wow.
So yeah. So yeah, lots of wrecks that you could explore. But yeah, definitely the Antillas is a fantastic ship that you can go to. Those scuba divers are just all over that thing, up inside it, go through the hull, have a fantastic dive site. It's at a slope, so part of it is right at the surface of the water. And so you actually have a snorkel opportunity of being right there. You put your mask in and you are right at the surface of that ship. And so for snorkelers, it's an incredible snorkel site. And like I said, it's been down since World War II. So almost 40 years it's been down there.
Wow.
Well, no, it's been longer now. Oh my gosh, it's been down there a long time now. That's 60 years it's been down there. Yeah, so 80 years. Kim, do your math. You've got a long time that you've got all that underwater growing on it. You've got the marine life down there. It's an incredible snorkel site. So definitely it's that site you want for your water lovers. Yeah. And then, of course, for people just like to see the top side, unique exploration and off the beaten path, you've got some real hard to get to locations that you can go to. Like one of my favorite that not many people go to is Boca Keto, which is a beach area by a large limestone rock that is shaped like Aruba. And it is very unique. It's beautiful out there, but you can only get there by four-wheel drive vehicle, and only one tour that I know of goes out there. So very few people go, and it is just paradise out there. So
Well, I heard some places like a natural pool. Is that something like, is that what it is?
Natural pool was formed by the incessant waves, and Boca Keto is just past that. So you still have to go a bit further beyond that. And most of the tours don't continue beyond that. So the horseback riding tours go to Boca Keto, but as far as your vehicles, they normally don't go. And so it's really pristine. It is kept away. Nobody goes. And so for those locations where people just really haven't discovered yet, that is one of those locations.
Wow, that's awesome. I always, we always look for these like tips and secrets that we want to share with viewers, because of course we all want that unique experience.
Yeah.
I also wanted to point out too, with the scuba diving, if you're not also a diver, I also heard you guys have like submarines that can take people down, like Atlantis submarines or something like that, that take people down to see the coral formations and the marine life. So if you're not big on like going down yourself, you can just join these tours as well that are underwater tours that you were mentioning before. So
right.
And top water, because I think certain destinations you have flat water. You guys are big on kite surfing and windsurfing, right?
Right. Again, we use our wind, I mean, we actually are home to the 17-time women's world champion windsurfer.
Wow.
So Sarah Kita Offering is, a world windsurfing champion, and she is from Aruba. And so if you ever wanted to learn to windsurf or kiteboard, that is the place to go to, Aruba, and have the right conditions to be able to do something like this. Fantastic opportunities.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. I mean, when you talk about like sea activities or water activities that you can do, it seems like Aruba is like the best place to do it, because you don't have to worry about the waves. There's different beaches along the west coast of the area. And I believe like most of the resort areas are primarily located in two sections, right? Eagle Beach and Palm Beach.
That's correct. Yeah.
Awesome.
And they're all, right there on that western shoreline, like you said. So every hotel has a breathtaking view of sunset every night.
Oh my gosh.
Can't get any better than that, right?
No, I mean, and that's the best part. I mean, when you really see what the natural resources that Aruba has taken advantage of, it's really a competitive edge that people don't realize. I mean, we see pictures, but these pictures have no relation to what the experience really is out there. The more I talk to some of the clients that we talk to, I mean, they talk about it with such grave testimonials that I'm just like, man, I really got to get out there one day.
You do. Yes, you do. And whether it's you and Keisha together or the whole family, it makes for a great destination for, whomever might be going, because like you were mentioning with our waters and stuff, the water, that whole Palm Beach area, especially Palm Beach, it's protected further out by a reef. And so the water is flat in that area. So there's no wave action, no undertows, really good for families on the Palm Beach area. So kids of all ages, and I didn't even ask the ages of the kids, but there's no problem with kids out there playing on the beach and all of that. Our sand does not retain the heat during the middle of the day. Yeah. So you can walk out on the beach anytime during the daytime. You're not burning your feet. Kids aren't burning their bums, and it is ideal. We have about 20 different venues where you can dine with your feet in the sand or even toes in the water. And so, of course, everyone is wanting to do things like that. And so at night when you're dining, you're just sinking your feet in that cold sand, and it feels so wonderful. And there's just so many things that you could do, so many people, and it works for, so many different people to come to the destination girls getaways and bachelorette parties and, destination weddings and honeymoons, of course. So.
No, that's so awesome. Like when I think more and more and I look at some of these pictures, I'm so jealous because, right now, even though we're on Zoom and we're all, wherever we are in the world, I mean, these look a lot better. These look like a whole lot better than where I'm at. And I wish I was there. Oh my gosh. They're just so beautiful. No, and I think you mentioned before that Aruba has the most sunny days of all the islands in the Caribbean. So is there a best time to go? Like, is there a seasonality, or is it just anytime you want to go, it's perfect?
Weather-wise, it's going to be the same year round. You're really not going to have a difference. The wind is the only thing that may change. If there is a storm somewhere in the Caribbean, it will suck the wind away from Aruba, and then it'll go flat in Aruba. And if the winds die down, then the humidity could set in a little bit and the rain clouds set in. So that's the only thing that can happen with us. But there's no prediction of when there could be a storm out there. You're not wanting, ever there to be a storm. And so, of course, we always want our winds in Aruba. And some people are kind of like, oh, it's windy down there. But the wind is your friend. You want the wind. The wind is a refreshing wind. Everybody has outdoor dining, everything. And so right now, especially during the pandemic timeframe, it's good to know that you're going to do everything outdoors. Your dining is outdoors. Your activities are all outdoors. You spend more time outdoors than you spend indoors. And that's just because the humidity is so low and the temperatures are so perfect and we have so little rainfall. Everything is done outdoors. People who are getting married on island, they don't need a backup plan for their wedding location because we get so little rain. That's how our destination is. We're blessed.
I'm smiling every time you say it. So, I started thinking about like, man, when Kim retires, maybe I can be as blessed as her. Maybe it'll fall in my lap. I don't know. This sounds awesome.
So many of our visitors come from that area, right?
Yeah. I can sell it. Trust me. I'm in this area. It's perfect. Oh, but you mentioned it earlier. And I think it's awesome the way you were saying it, because it's not only destination weddings, it's not only getaways, but it's proposal, because it's year round all the time, perfect weather, no rain. There's a whole assortment of different reasons why people go here, and I'm just like so amazed, whether it's romance, whether it's wellness, culinary, if it's adventure. Even for the family you were mentioning, there's so many things and so many highlights that really distinguish Aruba from a lot of the other Caribbean islands. And I'm so glad to have you on here, because that's what we really need. More inspiration to get out and travel once travel comes back.
Yes.
But you mentioned before, like the big elephant in the room is that everyone is, still cautious about the pandemic. How are Aruba's, health requirements or travel restrictions before and now?
We have not really made a lot of changes to our entry protocols. From the beginning, we have always required and still require a molecular nasal swab test. Mm-hmm. So that could be a PCR test, a rapid PCR test, a NAT test, which is like the Abbott ID Now test, which is that red dot test, which is a rapid test. Mm-hmm. And that has to be done maximum of 3 days in advance. Okay. So we don't count hours. We say 3 days. A lot of times you hear 72 hours in advance, but it's 3 days prior. If you're traveling on a Saturday, that means you can test as early as Wednesday. 3 days prior. And we, that has to be done. Or if some people want to go ahead and test upon arrival, they may do so. There's a cost of $75 for that. And then they would just be quarantined in their hotel room that they have already reserved until they get the test results. And test results are back between 6 or 8 hours on a weekend, sometimes 4 hours midweek. So, usually if they're on an earlier flight by dinner, they're outside having dinner out on the beach. So it's fantastic. We do also have, the testing is for ages 12 and up. Okay. We do have a mandatory insurance fee of $15 per adult ages 15 and up, and that's for the full duration of their stay. So it's not a daily fee, it's $15 per stay. And that all has to be paid for on our ED card platform. So they do that to actually get their approval to board the flight, and that can be done as early as 3 days in advance as well.
Awesome.
So we do control everything on island with mandates. So for the past 2 weeks, we've had a curfew on island. things change. Curfew has only been there for 2 weeks. It could go disappear as quickly as it came, and that's to help control the cases on island. And so, we've done a real good job controlling cases and active cases through our mandates throughout the destination. And so that is what has kept us, controlling everything. We also are very active in vaccinating throughout the destination. We currently, as of today, which is the 31st of August, have 71, just almost 72% of our total population as being vaccinated. And so that's really huge.
Yes.
So it's our goal to actually reach herd immunity pretty soon. And so that is what we are pushing everybody to do.
Well, that's so awesome. I mean, again, safety, sanitation is one of the biggest priorities now in travel. And I love the fact that the country has really taken the vaccination rollout very, very seriously, because it's important. I think now as people get more, confident in how travel is, playing out, people are understanding more. And I thank you so much for the 3 calendar days, because when it first came out with 72 hours, me and my travel, we're counting hours. Like, does that count? Oh my gosh.
Is it departure time? Is it arrival time? It's too confusing for everybody. So yes.
Again, the simple things of how things evolve. I just got done with a client and we're like, hey, she leaves at 2:43 p.m. and her test is at 8:40. That's like really 78 hours. We're in trouble. She's like, oh my gosh. It's like, no, it's okay. It's okay. So thank you so much for that.
Yes.
So, we talk about like the sanitations and the priorities changing. Aruba, they are, they depend on tourism as much as any other Caribbean country. But do you think this is the new normal, or do you expect anything else to change in the future?
Oh, the crystal ball. Let me pull that out for you, right? We really don't know. I mean, we all know COVID is here to stay. Yep. It's not going away. It's how we deal with it moving forward. We definitely want to find a way for everybody to live with it safely. And so the cleaning procedures and protocols, I think we're all going to see those for a long time. Hand sanitizer, mask will be around for a bit. They disappeared on island for a while, but now they're back indoors, and outdoors at this time as part of the mandate. But, keep your masks handy, keep that hand sanitizer with you at all times, just travel smart like you do at home. And when you are traveling, make sure you're traveling just like you would around your own locations. So we just all have to be smart as we do travel, because we don't want to just miss out on the opportunities that the world has to offer.
I think you're so correct. I mean, it's not about, if it's going to be right or wrong. You just want to be prepared. The biggest thing about traveling is being as prepared as possible. So when uncertainty happens, you have something else to do. You know how to pivot yourself and be able to get back. I have a lot of clients who always say, like, am I guaranteed to come home or guaranteed to arrive? It's like, well, we don't know. We never know. And it just shows us to now there's some responsibility that we all have to know about being able to get from A to B, which is airport security, restrictions. Everyone's just trying to piece it together. And I love the fact that this is what travel will be like. It'll be like this for a couple more years. And the best thing is to be prepared. With that said, Kim, I mean, do you have any tips or advice for people first coming to Aruba to enhance their experience, or whether to ensure that they have a great experience on the island?
Don't be afraid to explore. Definitely take things in. Make sure that you, even if you, like I said, do an all-inclusive, because we know, we've done the research, probably 80% or 70% of our first timers will do an all-inclusive for the first visit. But by the time they're there for the second and third visit, only 20% of them are doing the all-inclusive, because they realize how close and how easy and how safe of a destination it is. And so everything flip-flops on that. But go out and see the true Aruba, explore it, have an experience. Even if it's only 1 or 2 experiences, go out and see what Aruba is about. Because if you come down and only do the resort, That's not a true Aruba. For that, you can do that at some other destination. So really come and see what Aruba has to offer.
So with that said, I mean, what would you recommend for an average stay for a vacation to Aruba?
Our average length of stay is 7 nights, but if you're pushing it, 5 nights would be sufficient. We do have certain parts of the country where it's like, yeah, well, we're used to doing that 4-night getaway, push it to 5 at least in Aruba, because you'll really wish that you'd have stayed at least 1 extra night. But yeah, you even though it's a small island, you think there's not really, can I extend it that long? Oh yeah, you can extend it that long. There really is so much to do in Aruba. You'll be amazed. You will be amazed.
That's awesome. The one thing that I really loved about the pandemic, out of, the little things that came out of it, were the Zoom. I mean, we get a lot of people who are now like looking for longer vacations because they can work from anywhere.
Correct.
They can Zoom into meetings. And so hopefully we can get people to that 7-day stay so they can enjoy more of the island, because I love the fact that you can drive everywhere. I mean, they're so safe. I think I even read that the rides are already regulated with per destination. So you already know before you even step onto your taxi how much it's going to cost. Is that right?
That is correct. Yes, they're all common rated. They're regulated by government. If you rent a car, you're driving on the right-hand side of the road. So if you're going to be driving a bunch, just rent a car. It's going to be cheaper. You don't pay for parking anywhere except for like 1 or 2 shopping malls. And so you might as well just get a car and do it that way. And Alvin will arrange that for you. So it makes it really simple. We didn't get rid of all of our cars during the pandemic. We've got cars on island. So it's really easy to drive. You're driving on the right-hand side of the road. Yes, we have roundabouts versus stoplights, but it's really simple. Once you've done 1 or 2 times, you've got it down. It's simple to do. So driving in Aruba, it's a small island. You're not going to get lost. I promise you.
That's so awesome. And I believe all of us need some sun, some rejuvenation. We just need to get out and enjoy some Caribbean sun. But with that said, Kim, do you have any final thoughts or any insights that you want to share with the viewers before you go today?
Oh, we'd just love to see you in Aruba. The island is really doing well. We're doing everything that we can to keep people protected with regards to all the health and safety measures throughout the destination. So if, you're looking at safety issues, we've taken care of all of that. It's getting heavy booking into next year already. So we're excited about what the future holds for all of us. So we'd love to see you in Aruba.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Kim, for spending a few minutes here with us today. Hopefully in the future, we'll be looking at the sunrise in Aruba, because we both definitely need a vacation down to this beautiful, amazing place. But thank you again for coming. I hope a lot of our viewers were inspired to visit Aruba for the first time, or even for the second or third time, because it's just an amazing destination. So goodbye. I guess this is right. Bye, Poco Poco.
You could do that, Tiaro.
Okay.
We've got Io. Yeah, I mean, that's another one of those where it's like multiple words.
Yeah. But thank you again, Kim. It was a pleasure speaking to you. I hope I can have you on the show once more.
It's great. I appreciate you having me on. And yes, Io, Tiaro.
Bye-bye. So if you are looking to plan a vacation to Aruba, please reach out to our award-winning travel agency, TravelWise International, at 301-248-8898, or you can visit us on the web at www.itravelwise.com. We love to help plan an amazing vacation for you and your family. But most of all, thank you again to all of our viewers and listeners who've been able to join our show. Without your support and views, this would not be possible. And we're thrilled to share some amazing destinations, lean you in some knowledge and insight and experience to all of our viewers. Smart People Travel Wise airs every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific time and 3 p.m. East Coast time. My name is Alvin Adriano, CEO of TravelWise International, a Filipino-owned and operated travel agency that is dedicated in serving the Filipino community. Till next time, Smart People Travel Wise. Mabuhay.
is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.